Hello, welcome to the Bad Ear, Learning to Live with Tinnitus, Part 7B. Now, I put this in a little separate part, a little separate section, because it's my own personal way of meditating and working with the tinnitus, habituating to get used to it. And it may or may not apply to anybody other than myself, but I thought I would share with you what I do. I should tell you a little quick history. In the early 1980s, I landed a job working in a guitar repair shop. And the guys in the shop were all super talented. I was the lowest rung in there, and it was the old school type situation. Do it right, or get out. They were very talented, but they weren't teachers. I hung on. I learned how to do it, and I did it right. And I took a lot of pride in that work. We worked very hard. And there was always a long line of guitars to work on. We were working for famous people and high-end guitars. And gradually, I earned non-supervised work. Yeah, at first, my work always had to be double-checked, and I had to redo a lot of stuff. I had to come back late at night to redo it and get it right many times. And gradually, you build the skills up. Toward the end of that first decade, I ended up running the shop. It wasn't premature. I had earned that position. I knew how to do it at that point, but I was still pretty young. One guy had a drinking problem, one guy died, one guy had a drug problem, and then there was me. So I ended up running the shop. Me and one other guy who survived those early days. We worked together for just a couple of years, but we were running the shop. And it was long days, 7 days a week, 10 hours every day, and a lot of times more than that. It's all I did for years, and I would do it all again in a heartbeat because I loved it, I was good at it, and it's what I wanted to do. So I tell you all that because you can imagine I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I had a lot of responsibility thrust upon me, and I was happy to have it, but I didn't really have the skills for dealing with it. And I felt that my internal wiring was getting a little hot from the stress because it was a lot of stress. So I took a class at the local university, evening class, adult ed class, on self-hypnosis. Now, unfortunately, hypnosis has got that bad connotations, that associated with it. And I wish they had another name for this, but because it's not, ooh, you are a chicken, cluck, cluck, I am a chicken. No, it's not that. It's more like a Western version of meditation. It's more of an analytical meditation type of thing, and I'll give you it in a nutshell in a minute. But I did the hypnosis, and that led into me taking some advanced classes of hypnosis. And I've done it. It's my version of prayer. I'm basically philosophically a Buddhist, so I meditate some, and using the meditation in conjunction with the self-hypnosis has worked for me for a long time. So I'm not new to it, and when I first got hit with this tinnitus, I dove into it, and it was very helpful. And then this comes along. Well, this just turbocharges it. I mean, it just really has been very helpful. So I'm going to tell you how basically my little synopsis of what I do. Now, like I say, it only takes about 10 minutes because I've done it a lot. It doesn't take me a long time to get into it, but. I'll count back from 5 to 0 to get into the entry level, just to relax, tell myself that I'm getting ready to meditate. So just take some breaths and kind of start to chill a little bit. And then I'll give myself a relief valve, meaning that I say I'm going to go into deep meditation. I'm talking to myself now, quietly, just mentally I'm saying. And if something happens that needs my attention, the house catches on fire, someone gets hurt, and I have to be there to deal with it, I will comfortably and easily come out of the meditative state with a clear mind, ready to deal with whatever situation has presented itself. Now, that's a wonderful safety valve because it allows me to go deep into meditation, knowing that I have an out if I need it. It's just right there, ready to go. I program myself for that. So, again, I'm not the guy to teach all this, but I'm just telling you how I do it. So at this point, I'm counting back 10 to 0. I used to count back 20 to 0. Some people count back 50 to 0, whatever it takes. But I've done this a while, so I can do it in 10 to 0. So I envision myself in that 10 count walking down a little path that I used to walk down with our dogs, a little wooded path. Let them off leash, they can run. And at each step down that path, I'm counting back from 10 to 0 and taking a breath. Now, while I'm doing all this, I'm listening to the tinnitus. It's right there with us. We're all, me, the dogs, my feet, the crunchy on the crunchy leaves, going down this path, and the tinnitus going down that path. When I get to the end of the path, it's a little wooden steps. I count 3, 2, 1. I'm out on the dock. 0. I'm on the dock. And I look out at the dock at the beautiful water. Often in the morning when we would go down to this dock, fog would be coming in. Maybe one of the dogs runs up next to me. At this point, I'm in a deep meditative state. And at that point, it's a wonderful time to be grateful for what I have. And again, this is getting personal. I ask to be able to see opportunities to be helpful, just personal things. I go through this kind of stuff, but the platform of it is one of gratitude and respect for the connection with this inner. I guess you could say it's spiritual. It certainly feels spiritual, but just almost like you're talking to God. You know, you're just like grateful and respectful and thankful. You know, that should be that's my platform. So I spend some time down there and happy down there, and just, you know, mainly to show myself respect and appreciation. So, okay, got it. Then I'll say that I'm counting back from 5 to 0. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to go back up the stairs and go sit on that rotten picnic table that's sitting there. And when I get there, I'm going to pay attention to the tinnitus. So 5 to 0, I'm sitting on the picnic table now. So now I'm sitting on that picnic table, and I'm listening to the tinnitus. Especially with the help of these, I can hear, I'm in a very relaxed, calm place, and I can hear the tinnitus, all the little nuances of it, all the little subtleties. It's a complicated sound. It's not just one sound, it's layers of sound. And I'm not in this resistant, damn it state. I'm in an acceptance place. So this really helps accelerate the habituation of the tinnitus. And then I talk to my brain. And I thank the brain for doing such a good job, because the brain is doing I have a good brain, and it's doing what it's always done in an excellent way. It's looking for that signal from the left ear. That's what's causing the tinnitus. The signal's not coming, but it's still doing what it was meant to do, and it's doing it very well. It's looking for that signal. You know, and then I talk to the ear. I'll say, I know that you would send the signal to the brain. I tell the brain this too. I say, you know, the ear would send you the signal if it could. And I say the same thing to the ear. I say, I know you did great. For over 6 decades, you did an excellent job. And I know that you would continue to do that if you could. You would send the signal from the ear. You would send the signal to the brain if you could. It's not your fault. The brain, it's not your fault. It's nobody's at fault here. No one is voluntarily doing this. This is just inner ear disease caused by a virus is the best bet. No one really knows. Luckily, it's not a tumor. I've had enough MRIs for them to know that it's not that. But no one's at fault here. It's just bad luck. So the idea is you forgive the situation on different levels. You spend some time listening to it, and then you're able to associate the tinnitus to this calm, peaceful, centered place. So that's how I do it. Then you count out, and you come back, and you gradually pull yourself back out of the meditative place and go on with your day. Now, I've been working towards putting this to use, and before the COVID thing hit, I had to get one of my teeth cracked, and I had to get a crown on the tooth. I never had a crown before. It was my first crown. So you can imagine the tinnitus in any situation is not pleasant. But when you have single-sided deafness and tinnitus, all the bone reverberation from the drills and stuff, it's pretty awful. So I was not looking forward to this. So I'm sitting there, and they're getting me ready and all this, and then I heard the tinnitus. I thought, oh, okay. So during it, so they're working on my mouth and all. And I'm listening to the tinnitus. I think this is kind of interesting. I can listen to the tinnitus. I wonder if I can cop that calm thing, that you get from meditation. So I'm sitting there listening to that, and the calm thing, and it's all over, all done. The work was done. It diverted my mind off of it. I got a sense of calm from it, And I'm hoping what I'm working towards is being able to use this in my daily life. If I'm dealing with a stressful situation, listen to the tinnitus to help me stay cool. I'm dealing with some knucklehead acting like a fool in front of me. Instead of doing the usual, get my feathers ruffled and want to deal with them in a physical way, chill out, step back, look at it from a logical platform, which is much more powerful. So the idea is to start incorporating the calm association that you get from meditation with the tinnitus, and using the tinnitus to draw upon that as I need it during the day. Now, one last thing before I'll let you go. I've started doing mini meditations, and 3 or 4 times during the day, when I think about it, I'm trying to think about it, when it occurs to me to do it, I'll do like a little mini meditation. I'll listen to the tinnitus, count back from 5 to 0, and get that, centered, calm feeling. Again, the idea is to make it readily available when I need it. And recently I've been doing it with my eyes open. So just starting to get used to counting back from 5 to 0 while listening to the tinnitus. And like I say, I just call it a mini meditation. These kind of things is a little more than entertaining. It's actually helpful. And what's happening is you're taking the tinnitus, which is this awful intruder in your life, and putting it to use. It's almost like some old friend from high school shows up on your doorstep, flat broke, is in bad shape, and you feel like you should help him. So you give him a couch to sleep on, and he's here for 3-4 days. It turns into a week. Well, it's time for him to help out. If he's going to be living on my couch, he's going to be mowing the grass. He's going to run some errands for me. It's the same kind of thing. You have this intruder in the form of tinnitus. So instead of like fighting the intruder, put it to use. And this has been a wonderful method for me. And again, I hope that it's helpful for you. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.